All right, so get this. We're going deep on a legend today. A legend that's like captivated everyone for centuries. The Holy Grail.
Ah, the Grail.
Yeah, like mystery and spiritual stuff, adventure. It's everywhere. Art, literature, even like blockbuster films.
Yeah.
You know, I've always kind of been fascinated by this.
Yeah.
Like, how can a thing, an object, have so much power over people?
It is fascinating, yeah.
Inspiring, like everything, epic poems to Indiana Jones.
It's pretty remarkable. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a magnet almost pulling on us. Like deep down, we all want something more
Yeah,
like
a deeper meaning.
transcendent. Yeah.
Okay, so for our deep dive this time, you sent over this really cool discussion. It's these historians, Tom Holland and Dominic Sandbrook,
Okay.
from their podcast, The Rest is History.
I love that podcast.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
They get into like all the historical context, interpretations, the impact of this whole legend.
Yeah. And you know what I find really interesting is how they unpack it.
Yeah, unpack it.
The evolution of the Grail. Like how it went from just a dish. Yeah, like a serving dish in the, medieval literature.
Okay.
To this like relic, sacred, powerful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's like go back to the start.
Okay.
So this might surprise some people, but the Grail, it's not in the Bible.
No.
Nope, nowhere to be found.
Huh. Really?
Like not in those sacred texts.
Wow.
So then where does this come from, this symbol?
Right, the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
So it pops up first in like 12th century French literature.
Okay.
Specifically this book, Percival, The Story of the Grail.
Okay.
It's by Chrétien de Troyes.
Got it.
Now, here's the thing, the Grail.
Yeah.
It's like a simple serving platter.
Really?
Not the fancy chalice we think of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So no gold cup, no jewels.
Nope.
Just a plain platter.
Yeah. That's so different from like Indiana Jones.
Totally different.
Right.
It really makes you think how to go from, a dish to this like super powerful thing. So in Percival, Chrétien, he sets up a lot of the pieces, like the Fisher King, the Bleeding Lance, this whole procession, very mysterious.
Yeah.
But the Grail itself, it's still, kind of a mystery.
It's like he's giving these puzzle pieces.
Yeah,
But we have to figure it out ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
I know that's part of the appeal. It's so open-ended you can interpret it.
Okay.
And then later writers like Robert de Boron and Wolfram von Eschenbach,
Okay.
they pick it up. They add like layers of meaning.
Okay, let's talk about Robert de Boron.
Okay.
He takes it like in a religious direction.
Boron is key, yeah.
Yeah.
He connects the Grail to the Last Supper and, the blood of Christ.
Oh, wow.
And he brings in Joseph of Arimathea,
Okay.
who, according to the Bible, buried Jesus.
Right.
And in de Boron's version, Joseph is the first Grail guardian.
Oh, wow.
So now it's got this, like, biblical connection.
That's a huge change.
It is.
Like from a magic platter to the blood of Christ?
Totally.
Wow.
But he doesn't stop there.
No.
He makes this whole lineage
of
Grail guardians. He says, like, the Fisher King is Joseph's brother-in-law.
Okay.
He connects it all
Wow.
to these biblical figures, events.
Yeah.
Makes it, really religious.
Like he's bridging the Grail to the Christian story.
Right.
Makes it relatable.
Especially, like, back then, medieval times, everyone's super religious.
Right.
It fits right in.
And the church is getting more powerful.
Oh, yeah.
At this time.
Huge power.
They're like weaving everything together.
Exactly. It's all part of their plan.
Okay, now, Wolfram von Eschenbach takes it somewhere else. Completely.
He's a stone.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a stone.
Okay, Eschenbach is...
fascinating.
That's one word for it.
Yeah, his version is wild.
Okay.
More fantastical than de Boron's.
Okay.
So it's a stone, not a cup.
Yeah.
And the Fisher King is Unfortus.
Okay.
He's got this wound.
Yeah.
It's linked to him not being able to,
do his kingly duties.
Yeah.
That's so different. What's the point of the stone then?
It's open to like interpretation, maybe it's this mystical element.
Okay.
Even like pagan maybe, and he brings in this bloodline thing.
Okay.
Connecting the Grail keepers back to like everyone, Trojan heroes, Roman emperors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we've got three versions,
Right.
the platter, the cup, the stone.
Yep.
It's amazing how one thing can mean so many things.
Symbols, man, they're powerful.
Mm.
They hold our hopes, our fears, everything.
Yeah.
The Grail is like a mirror, showing the beliefs of that time.
That's a great point.
Right.
So how do we make sense of all this? Do historians have a favorite theory?
So here's what's interesting. Tom and Dominic, they say, don't get hung up on one meaning.
Yep.
Like they say the Jungian thing, the bloodline, the pagan origins.
Yeah.
Those are popular,
Yeah.
but they miss something big.
What's that?
Context.
Historical context.
Yes.
So we got to look beyond the symbols.
Right.
And think about the when and where.
Exactly.
Okay, so the 12th, the 13th centuries.
Yeah.
Lots of change in Europe then.
Big time. Crusades, religious stuff, conflict.
Right.
Church is gaining power big time.
Okay, and where does the Grail fit in?
Well, they make a point. It pops up right when something big happens.
In the church.
Yeah, the idea of transubstantiation.
Okay, for those who don't know, what's that?
So it's the belief that in communion, the bread and wine, they literally become
what?
The body and blood of Christ.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just symbolic.
Oh.
It was their power, the church's power.
Got it.
The key to salvation, they said.
So church asserting power, big ritual.
Yep.
But what about the knights?
Yes.
They were important then, right?
They were the muscle, defending the church.
Right.
How do you square that?
Square with.
War, brutality.
Yeah.
With, peace and piety.
So that's where the Grail comes in.
Maybe, yeah.
Like bridge the gap.
Possibly, yeah.
Give knights like a purpose within the church.
They suggest that, yeah.
Tom and Dominic.
Yeah, that the Grail stories, they were like a tool.
To do what?
To bring the knights in.
Okay.
With the transubstantiation thing.
Interesting.
Like the fighting, the quests, it all had meaning.
Spiritual meaning.
Yeah, they were warriors for Christ.
The Grail, the holy warrior symbol.
In a way, yeah,
Okay.
but it's not that simple.
No.
Remember, only priests could touch the Eucharist.
Right.
Their domain.
But in the Grail stories,
Yeah.
knights, regular guys, they see the Grail.
The embodiment of
Transubstantiation.
Yeah, right.
So it's promoting the church,
Yeah.
but also giving knights this power.
That only priests should have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's tricky.
Right?
Maybe that's why the church, they never officially endorsed it.
Or maybe.
They like the inspiring part,
Yeah.
but not the challenge to their authority.
Exactly. It's a powerful symbol.
Yeah.
It can be used in different ways.
Okay, so we've covered a lot,
Yeah.
the origins, the meanings, the history, but there's someone we haven't talked about.
Oh, right.
Galahad,
Yeah.
like Berkich Knight.
Yeah.
He replaces Percival in some stories. What's his story?
That, my friend, is a question for part 2.
Yeah. All right.
Stay tuned.
Great.
Okay, welcome back to our deep dive on the Grail.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah, right.
So much to uncover.
So in part 1, remember we talked about
how it changed from just a dish to this sacred well.
The blood of Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's more.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, Galahad,
right?
He comes in later.
Yeah, later versions of this story.
As like the chosen knight.
Yeah.
The Grail winner.
The one destined for it.
What makes him so special?
Galahad, he's interesting. Is like the perfect version of spiritual purity.
Okay.
Which becomes super important.
The later stories.
Yeah, exactly. Earlier, like Percival, he was flawed, made mistakes.
Right.
Galahad is like the ideal, perfect knight skills and devotion.
So it's not just about like fighting anymore?
Right, there's more to it.
Inner purity.
Yeah, aligning yourself.
With the divine, yeah.
Okay, and this shift happens as the church gets more powerful.
Exactly, it's all connected.
So it's like the medieval period.
Right, the church is consolidating power.
Taking control.
And Galahad, he's their ideal...
the holy warrior.
Strong in battle, devoted to the church.
Exactly, the perfect image.
It makes sense they probably weren't thrilled with Percival.
Yeah, not the best role model.
Impulsive.
Yeah.
Didn't ask the right question.
Right, big mistake.
Galahad, though, he's different.
Oh, yeah.
More refined, spiritual.
Almost otherworldly.
Untouched by, sin, temptation.
Yeah, all that.
Okay, so how does he actually get the Grail?
What sets him apart?
Yeah.
He achieves something special.
Okay.
The beatific vision.
What's that?
Like a direct experience of God.
Wow.
Usually, for saints or after you die.
So he sees God while he's alive.
Yeah. powerful stuff.
That's a pretty big reward for finding a cup.
Well, it's not just any cup.
Right, the Grail.
It becomes this conduit to the divine, the ultimate goal.
And this connects to what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Transubstantiation.
Exactly, remember.
Yeah, the bread and wine.
Literally becoming.
The body and blood.
Right. Of Christ.
Galahad's vision, it reinforces that.
Yeah, experiencing the divine.
Correct.
No middleman.
Okay.
And it's tied to the Grail.
So the Grail is now this like religious super symbol.
It represents God's grace salvation.
But then think about this.
Oh, okay.
The Grail, it's all about this church ritual.
Transubstantiation.
Yeah. So what happens to it when people reject that?
Interesting.
Like the Reformation?
Yeah, the Protestants.
It challenged the church.
Right. Big time.
So what about the Grail then?
Well, after the Reformation, interest in the Grail, it kind of fades away. Yeah.
Especially for Protestants.
They saw it as,
old-fashioned.
Yeah, a relic, superstition, no place in their new churches.
So the Grail gets put away.
For a while, yeah.
No more knights, no more quests.
But it doesn't disappear completely.
No.
It comes back.
It does. When?
The 19th century. Wow.
Okay.
But this time, it's not the church.
No.
It's artists, writers, poets, Tennyson, Wagner, even T.S. Eliot.
They're all drawn to it.
Yeah, to the mystery.
So the Grail goes from religion to art.
It's a shift, yeah.
What are they looking for?
That's a good question.
Is it different from the Knights?
I think so, yeah. It's the 19th century.
Right.
The world is changing fast.
Yeah, the Industrial Revolution.
Science, reason. People are looking for meaning.
Okay.
But maybe not in religion anymore.
So they're still on a quest.
In a way, yeah.
But it's different.
Inner
searching.
Exactly.
Is that where those theories come in?
Which ones?
The Jungian stuff.
Yeah.
Secret bloodlines.
Yeah.
Pagan stuff.
Could be.
Like new ways to understand it.
Yeah. Outside of religion, books like The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, the Da Vinci Code, those kinds of things.
They tap into that.
Yeah. Hidden meanings.
Secret societies.
Right. Alternative history.
It's like the Grail is a blank canvas.
Interesting.
We put our own stuff onto it.
Like a mirror.
Our anxieties, our hopes.
Could be, yeah.
And of course, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The Last Crusade.
Big, right.
The Grail is a magical thing.
Right. A source of power.
What did Tom and Dominic think about that?
Well, they say it's a good movie.
Yeah, virtually.
But it misses the point.
The real
historical and religious stuff.
The real meaning.
Yeah.
All style, no substance.
Kind of, yeah.
It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
But not very deep.
It doesn't get the journey from a dish to a symbol.
It's tough to fit that into like a 2-hour movie.
Something's got to give.
Right.
But even if it's not accurate, it shows how powerful the Grail is.
Still capturing our imagination.
Which makes us wonder.
What secrets it might hold.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've gone from medieval to modern interpretations.
But what does it all mean?
The big question for us today.
In our world.
Is it just a good story?
Or is there something more? That, my friend, is the question for part 3.
Oh, all right.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah, part 3.
We've been on this whole journey.
Yeah.
Exploring the Grail.
From a simple dish.
To a sacred relic.
Right. All that religious and mystical stuff.
It's been fascinating, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like all the meanings it's had over time.
So many different meanings.
Reflecting, like what people wanted.
Yeah. Hopes, fears,
Spiritual stuff?
It really shows you, like, the human condition.
Right. We saw how the church used it.
In the medieval period.
Yeah. Back then, it was all about their power.
And purity, the divine.
But now it's the 21st century.
Right.
Things are different.
More secular.
Science, reason.
So the big question, what does it mean now?
Today, in our world.
Is it just a story?
Or is there more to it?
Good question.
Like, in a world with all this technology.
And stuff moving so fast.
These old myths.
Do they even matter?
But the Grail still, like, grabs us.
It does, yeah.
Movies, books, even games.
We're still fascinated.
By the quest,
Looking for something.
More.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like those knights back then. That yearning for meaning.
It's still there, inside us.
We might not be riding horses.
Right.
But we're all on a quest, right?
In a way.
Our careers, relationships.
Searching for something.
That matters.
It gives us purpose.
I think that's where the Grail, that's where it matters today.
Not the object itself,
Right.
but what it represents.
The journey.
That's the core of it.
Seeking, like, wholeness.
Spiritual fulfillment.
Connecting to,
something bigger.
That's something everyone wants.
It's universal.
It doesn't matter what time period.
It's human nature.
So it's not about finding the actual Grail.
Right. It's more about
finding our own Grail.
Exactly. What gives your life meaning?
Your purpose.
Yeah. What connects you?
To something bigger.
And remember Percival.
Yeah.
He messed up, didn't ask the right question.
Oh, right.
It's a reminder, the quest isn't just following blindly.
Okay.
You got to think, question things.
Find your own answers. So the Grail's like a mirror.
Showing you what you want.
Your desires, your path.
And you have to choose.
Just like the knights.
Face the challenges.
What did the Grail mean to you?
It's up to you to decide.
This is so interesting.
I know.
All these theories we've talked about.
Yeah.
Young, bloodlines, pagan stuff.
It all comes back to transformation, renewal, deeper meaning.
It doesn't matter how you look at it.
Psychology, history, religion.
It's about connecting to
something bigger.
Finding meaning in this crazy world.
That's what we all want.
It's a reminder that even when things are bad, there's something to strive for.
There's hope.
Transformation, finding meaning.
That's the message throughout history.
Tom and Dominic?
Yeah.
They end with this interesting thought.
About?
Glastonbury.
Oh, King Arthur's place.
Yeah, they say the idea of the Grail being there, that came later.
Like much later.
15th century.
But the question is, why there?
Why Glastonbury? What's so special about it?
Well, it's this place, all about spirituality, myths, legends, pagan stuff, Christian stuff.
Mixing together.
King Arthur's buried there, supposedly.
Right.
The first Christian church in Britain.
Wow.
So it's like Glastonbury is the Grail's journey.
I like that.
A physical place where those things meet.
The physical and the spiritual.
Exactly.
That's why the Grail ended up there.
In our minds, at least.
Yeah, it makes you think about faith, mystery.
It makes you question, seek answers.
You find your own connection.
To something greater.
So if it's not really buried there, what is it then? Where do we find it?
In our own lives.
Okay, how?
That's the challenge, the beauty of it. You got to go on your own quest.
Look inside.
What do you believe? What do you want? What connects you to something bigger?
Nature, art, people.
Anything. It's up to you.
What makes you feel alive?
What brings you joy?
What gives you that sense of wonder?
Yeah, that we lose sometimes.
In everyday life.
It's easy to forget.
It's like those nights, though.
Yeah.
There will be challenges.
You'll doubt yourself.
But it's the journey that matters.
The pursuit.
Of something meaningful.
That's what changes you.
I love that.
It's not the destination.
The journey.
Finding your purpose.
Who knows what we'll find?
Along the way.
That's the magic of the Grail.
It's a story that keeps inspiring us.
Challenging us.
Reminding us.
That the search for meaning.
That's worth it.
If this deep dive has made you curious. Go explore those Arthurian legends.
Read about the medieval church.
Start your own quest.
Find your own meaning.
And subscribe for more deep dives.
Into all kinds of cool stuff.
Until next time.
Keep searching.
Keep questioning.
And may the spirit of the Grail
guide you on your journey.